Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me in another awesome video. In this video, I have company with me. So meet Sharik. He's an awesome cat that came to our place, came to our balcony, and I decided to keep him. He wouldn't leave for 2 weeks. At first, I refused because I already have 4 cats that also came to our balcony. So now we've got 5 cats. So I'm the ultimate cat lady. Anyway, so in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about a change in perspectives, right? And how a change in perspectives and a little tweak in how your brain operates can lead you to your life's purpose and help you lead a more fulfilling life. Yeah. So let's get into. So let's talk about how our brain operates, right? Unfortunately, our brain operates from a survival standpoint, which means that we tend to focus on the negative. And once again, it has to do with survival, right? And because by being able to spot um, uh, any uniqueness, anything that stands out, anything that's out of ordinary, right, we can survive, right? So for example, when you're out and about, right, in the forest, if you are able to spot a bear quickly from far away, right, then you can you're able to hopefully get away, right? If you're not close enough to the bear, maybe you're still kind of far away. So this has to do, like I said, with the survival, with our survival, innate survival mechanism, right? Unfortunately, it's not doing us any good, and the reason being is because first of all, we're living in modern times, right? So we no longer have to worry about bears or lions or wolves, right, trying to kill us. So that's that, right? And the second reason is because um, by always focusing in on the negative, you tend to attract more of it into your life, right? So um, um, so ultimately you're living a life that you don't want to live. So in essence, we're living from our ego. The egoic mind is just a small portion of our mind. It's not who we are as people. It's not what's behind that ego. It's not our essence, our true essence, right? Our inner core, the light, the higher consciousness, right? The egoic mind operates in fear. Like I said, it's our lowest state of consciousness. It's our lowest state of being, right? So by operating from our ego, we don't give ourselves the chance to lead a life of purpose, to lead a happy life, right? To lead a life that comes from who we truly are. We don't give ourselves um, the opportunity to express ourselves as unique individuals, right? We all came here to express ourselves, and I think that is the ultimate, it's bliss, right? Being able to express yourselves fully. Or yourself fully is bliss. It's what we all came here to do, right? So your ego mind prevents that from happening. Okay, when we operate from our ego, it's kind of like you're living in hell. Okay, because our egoic mind is always afraid, always comparing ourselves to other people, right? Always looking for drama, right? It's never satisfied. It can never be at peace. It can never be okay. Just being in the present moment, right? It's always living in the past or the future, right? And like they say, right, if you live or when you live in the past, you're depressed, you get depressed, right? And if you're living in the future, you get anxious because you don't know what's gonna happen, right? You're uncertain, right? And that uncertainty creates kind of anxiety, right? So that's exactly what happens when you operate from your ego. So one thing that you can do is to stop taking things personally, okay? Because taking things personally might feel good initially, right, in the short term, but in the long run, it can negatively affect your self-esteem, right? It will take you on this emotional roller coaster, right? That or self-esteem roller coaster, right? So you don't want to take things personally. It's not serving you any good, right? Whenever we take things personally, it becomes about us, right? What this person did to us, right? How they wronged us, and how basically you become the victim, right, of your circumstances, and in turn you lose that personal self power, okay? Also, you get extremely emotional with your sorry about the flies. You get extremely emotional about everything, right? Everything is personal, right? And you feel attacked all the time, right? So there's no connecting with another individual, and there's no understanding them, right, from a different perspective. Just think of it this way, right? I have a toddler, right? So most things that toddlers do are not personal. They shouldn't be about you, right? It's not like, for example, he's only 3.5, right? So maybe sometimes I give him milk, or I give him a glass of water, right? And he just takes it and he spills it, right? I can take it personally, right? And tell him, oh my goodness, how could you do this? I spend all this energy on giving you milk, right? And like, why would you spill it? You're making me do more work, right? But instead, I can look at it from a different perspective and think, okay, well, he's 3.5, right? He's probably just experimenting, right? He's trying new things. Spilling milk is one of them, right? Seeing what will happen when the milk, falls on the floor. So not everything is about you, okay? Like your ego wants you to believe, all right? And changing that perspective will really, really, really help. The next change in perspective has to do with your limiting beliefs, all right? As we get older, right, our beliefs should technically shift and change, right? But sometimes they don't, right? So you might be an office worker, right? But you might still hold the same beliefs as you did when you were in high school, right? So, and is that really serving you, right? You have to ask yourself, are your beliefs serving you? A lot of times we don't examine our beliefs, right? And we just accept them as kind of like a part of us, right? Over time, your beliefs will get so ingrained into your being, right, that you will start feeling as if it's a part of who you are. They're a part of who you are, right? But they're not, right? They're just simply beliefs, okay? And you're just used to them, right? Uh, so many beliefs really, they become like bad habits, right? Which you should always, always, always examine, re-examine, re-evaluate, right? Your beliefs, a lot of times they're the reason on why you're not living your best life, okay? They're holding you back from getting the girl of your dreams, right? Or meeting the right person, right? Like, for example, I'll give you an example of that, right? A woman can have I've met a lot of women who have these beliefs, right? Like, all guys are cheaters, all guys are liars, right? And so if this is what you think, those are limiting beliefs, right? Because they're not the truth, right? Guys can be different, and just because you had one, two, three, four, even four, right, or five experiences where the guy turned out to be a jerk, right? Or the girl turned out to be a jerk, right? And if I'm talking about guys, doesn't mean that it's always going to be the case, right? Unless you change your belief. If you're willing to change that belief and question it, right, then you will attract what you believe in, right? So we ultimately attract what we believe in, right? So if you think you don't deserve, something special, you're never going to get it, right? So always question your beliefs about everything, right? Um, and try to challenge them, right? Try to question them. What would it mean to you if you were wrong about those assumptions, right, or those beliefs? What would it mean in your life? Write this down too, and this will kind of help you see things from a different perspective. What if the opposite of what I think is the truth, right? So write, 10 things that you could be wrong about. Okay, so write this down, right? Do this small exercise. Take out a sheet of paper and a pen and write 10 things down that you could be wrong about, right? And this and then go on to challenge them. Okay. Same thing applies to a lot of our social norms, right? And sayings, right, that are so ingrained in our into our culture, right? Culture, right? So culture stems from like the word cult, right? To be in a cult. Um, uh, so so you know, do you want to be in a cult, right? And kind of not have your own mind, right? And just kind of like be one of the sheeps, right? Or sorry, sheep. Or do you want to have your own mind and think for yourself, right? And question the often very false beliefs that were so ingrained into our culture, so one of those, I'll give you an example of that, right? So just think about coffee, right? But first, coffee, right? That's like, that's a very popular saying, right? And coffee has become so ingrained into most of our cultures, right? That nobody even questions it anymore. Nobody questions whether it's good to have coffee in the morning or not, right? It is a drug, right? It's a stimulant after all. It has, believe it or not, if you look into caffeine and what it does, it's actually a pesticide that's used to kill bugs. Okay, first of all. Non-organic coffee, which most people drink, has a lot of mold. It's extremely terrible for your health, okay? And also it tricks your body, blocks certain neurotransmitters, which make you think that you're not tired, right? So it kind of tricks your body into thinking that you don't need rest, that you don't need sleep, and that you can keep on going, right? That's the reason. That's part of the reason why when people like try to quit caffeine, right, is that they get so exhausted, right? Caffeine is one of my weaknesses, always has been, okay, but I'm really really trying extremely hard to quit it now. I've just been drinking like green tea, right? Anyway, so yeah. Also, it can keep you from sleeping well, right? It keeps you from going into deep sleep. Okay, especially if you drink too much, and deep sleep is what we all need in order to feel really really well rested, right? So if you're waking up, tired and groggy, and you're reaching for that caffeine again, you're just repeating that cycle, and that can be the reason why you're so exhausted too. I just felt the need to talk about caffeine a little bit more in detail here, because it is something that is so ingrained in our culture, right? And we accept it as like, our I don't know, something that we all need, right? And something that's so good for us, right? But when really in reality it's not, right? So that's, that's something else that you should question, right? And there are many, many different sayings that came from, generations of people that were traumatized, okay, and they were socially accepted, and nobody, to this day, nobody questions them. We should really go back and reevaluate on what we think is you know is acceptable and good for us, and what isn't, right? And same thing comes to your beliefs too, your personal ones. They're the ones that are keeping you stuck, right? They're the ones that are keeping you from meeting that special someone, or making more money, perhaps attracting more money into your life. They're the ones that are keeping you from having a good relationship with yourself, right? So another flip or another change in perspectives can really open your eyes, okay? It can make you see your life, or it can make you view life from a glass half full perspective instead of a glass half empty perspective, right? And one of those things is gratitude, all right? I remember at some point when I was like much younger, right? My brother, he came to me, and he kind of introduced me to this concept of gratitude, right? And I didn't really, at the time, I wasn't really ready to receive that message, right? Or that guidance. So I kind of pushed it to the side. Oh yeah, 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 grateful. Okay, okay, right. I believe that we always have to be ready for a specific message. Otherwise, it will just go over our ear, right? We're not gonna really hear it. So don't be preachy with anyone, right? Don't push anyone to accept something, or to to have them view things from your own perspective, right? Don't push them to do that, because everyone, whenever someone is ready, they will understand, and they will see and hear what you're talking about, right? Otherwise, they won't, right? And that was the case with me and gratitude. But now, I I remember his words right now, and I wish that I could hear him when he told me about gratitude, because being grateful is everything. By appreciating the things that you do have, right? You're able to see what you already have. You're grateful for what you have, right? You feel lucky and fortunate to have the things in your life, and you also train your brain um, to think from a positive perspective rather than a negative one, right? Rather than on what you don't have, right? What you could have, what everyone else is having, right? So you kind of, it kind of helps you to not compare your life to other people's lives, right? And therefore, once again, you attract more of that that you want into your life, okay? So definitely be grateful. Just think of the things that you have. Whether it's maybe a healthy kid, right, or fresh air. Fresh water, right, quality food. Maybe it's even the ability to work online, for example, right? That's amazing, right? Like I teach online. I'm a teacher, right? And a writer. So and I'm able to work from anywhere. That's amazing, right? Like thank God for internet, right? Thank God for um, I don't know. Thank God for everything, right? Thank God for having an awesome place to live, right? Even if it's not like a huge mansion or a big house, right? Who cares, right? You if you have if you have all your basic necessities, right, then you should be extremely grateful for that. You know, that's really all you need. You don't need a huge mansion. You don't need, you know, a Maserati to be happy. You really don't. You know, I've known people with those things, and they're not happy because they're always looking. To compare themselves to someone who has more, right? And so that's I think that's a completely wrong approach. You're missing the picture, right? You're looking at life from a glass half empty perspective, right? Anyways, I hope you guys found this information helpful, and thank you so much. Have a good one.